All right, so you're thinking about diving into the world of fitness.
Oh, that's great.
That's awesome. But maybe you're not sure where to start.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we're here for. We've got some great resources for you today, including insights from the Mayo Clinic,
Uh-huh.
Nerd Fitness,
Oh.
and Healthline.
Nice.
And we're going to take a deep dive into all this info so you can start a fitness program that works for you.
Yeah, it's interesting. A lot of people just want to jump right in,
Right.
but they often skip the most important first step,
Okay, what's that?
understanding your own body.
Ah, makes sense.
Yeah, both the Mayo Clinic and Healthline
Mm-hmm.
really stress the importance of a checkup before you do anything.
Especially if you're planning on really pushing yourself, right?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
especially for strenuous workouts.
Yeah, makes sense.
Checking in with your doctor can help uncover any underlying health issues you might not even be aware of.
Oh, yeah.
It's also a great way to understand your limitations.
Mm-hmm.
And you can work with your doctor to create a plan that's both safe and effective.
It's kind of like reading the instruction manual before assembling, like a really complicated piece of furniture.
Yeah.
Right. Except, your body is way more complex than anything you'd find in a flat pack box.
Exactly. That's a great analogy. And speaking of instructions,
Okay.
Nerd Fitness talks about setting SMART goals.
SMART goals.
Have you ever heard of those?
I've heard of them, yeah.
Okay, so
I've dabbled in them a bit,
okay.
but I think sometimes I get stuck in the get fit mindset.
I
'Cause
think
it's just so vague, Like, where do you even begin with that?
it's so overwhelming.
Yeah.
So SMART goals, that's what they address.
Okay.
So instead of this vague get fit,
Mm.
you could say, I want to run a 5K in 3 months.
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
It's specific and measurable.
Mm-hmm.
It's attainable, relevant,
Yeah.
and timely.
Okay. That makes it so much less intimidating,
Yeah.
It's like I can actually wrap my head around that.
Absolutely.
So you've got your doctor's approval, you've got your SMART goals lined up.
Uh-huh.
What's next?
So the Mayo Clinic lays out this really practical 5-step program
Okay.
for designing your fitness plan.
All right.
It all starts with knowing your starting point.
Okay, so like figuring out how many push-ups you can do.
Yeah.
Or how fast you can walk a mile.
Exactly.
Having that baseline data is really important.
It is.
Helps you measure your progress.
Absolutely.
Which I imagine can be super motivating.
Very motivating, yeah.
Cool.
From there, you craft a balanced routine.
Mm-hmm.
Mayo Clinic really stresses this, the importance of including aerobic activity,
Okay.
strength training, and flexibility.
Ooh, this is my favorite part, gathering the equipment.
Oh, fun.
But actually, the Mayo Clinic says you don't need a ton of fancy gear to get started.
They actually highlight good shoes
Oh, that's a good point.
as your foundation. So that's good news for anyone on a budget.
Yeah, that is good news.
And you know what else they mentioned? Fitness apps.
Oh, yeah. I love those.
Yeah, so helpful.
Mm.
They can be incredibly motivating and helpful for tracking your progress.
I use them all the time. They help me stay accountable.
Me too.
And sometimes I even learn new exercises from them.
Absolutely.
So it's like having a personal trainer in your pocket.
Yeah. And both the Mayo Clinic and Nerd Fitness agree that it's crucial to start slow
Oh, for sure.
and gradually increase intensity.
I have definitely learned that the hard way.
Yeah.
Going too hard too soon
Yeah.
can lead to burnout or even injuries.
For sure.
It's all about finding that sweet spot
Yeah.
where you're challenging yourself, but you're also listening to your body.
Right. Absolutely. And speaking of listening to your body,
Okay.
Nerd Fitness is a big proponent of something called compound exercises.
Compound exercises. Okay.
Yeah. Have you heard of those?
Is that like compound interest? Because if so, sign me up.
No, it's actually even better for your body than compound interest is for your bank account.
All right. Well, I'm intrigued.
So compound exercises,
Mm-hmm.
they work multiple muscle groups at the same time,
Oh.
like squats, deadlifts, push-ups, pull-ups.
So it's like multitasking for your muscles.
Exactly.
Makes sense.
They're incredibly efficient,
Okay.
and they help you build strength and muscle faster.
Okay. So are there any downsides to focusing on compound exercises?
Well, because they work so many muscles at once,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
really important to pay attention to your form.
To avoid injury.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely to avoid
Hey,
injury.
that's a good point.
Yeah.
So it sounds like they're, a great foundation for a workout routine.
Yeah.
What else does Nerd Fitness recommend?
Well, they had this really straightforward approach to building a routine,
Okay.
and they suggest choosing one exercise from each major muscle groups.
Okay.
So quads, butt and hamstrings, push and pull.
So like you do a squat for quads, a deadlift for butt and hamstrings. So
Exactly.
a push-up for chest and triceps, a pull-up for your back and biceps.
Yeah, it's like a recipe for a strong and balanced body.
But what about those smaller muscle groups, like calves or forearms?
Yeah, those often get worked during compound exercises.
Gotcha.
But if you want to give them some extra love,
Mm-hmm.
you can definitely add in isolation exercises that specifically target those muscles.
Okay, makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm guessing sets and reps come into play at this point,
They do.
but I always get those terms confused.
Yeah, I think a lot of people do.
Yeah.
So simply put, reps refer to the number of times you perform an exercise consecutively,
Okay.
like doing 10 push-ups in a row.
Got it.
And a set is just a group of those reps.
Okay.
So you might do 3 sets of
Yeah.
10 push-ups, which means you do 10 push-ups,
Mhm.
rest, do another 10 rest,
Right.
and then a final 10.
Okay. Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Good.
So how do you determine how many sets and reps you should do? Is it just kind of, personal preference?
Well, Nerd Fitness explained that it depends on your goals.
Okay.
Like, are you aiming for strength,
Yeah.
size, or endurance?
Makes sense.
And your sets and reps will reflect that.
Oh,
For
okay.
example, if you're lifting heavy weights for strength,
Huh.
you might do fewer reps with longer rest periods between sets.
Gotcha.
But if you're going for endurance, you might do more reps with shorter rest periods.
So there's no magic formula.
Not really.
It's about tailoring your approach to your own goals.
Exactly.
I like that.
Yeah, it's more personalized and less
Yeah.
intimidating.
Much less intimidating, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so one thing that's consistent across all goals
Mhm.
is the concept of progressive overload.
Yes.
Have you heard of this?
I
I feel like I've heard of it, but I don't really have a good grasp on what it is.
Okay, well, it's not like overloading your brain with information,
Haha. Okay, good.
although we might be getting close to that point.
Yeah, we might be.
Progressive overload
Yeah.
is all about continually challenging your muscles
Okay.
by gradually increasing the weight, reps, or difficulty of your exercises over time.
So like leveling up in a video game.
Exactly.
Cool.
You get stronger, you face tougher challenges.
Okay, so how do you know when it's time to increase the challenge?
Well, one sign is that your workouts start to feel too easy.
Okay.
If you can breeze through your sets without breaking a sweat,
Mm-hmm.
it's probably time to up the ante.
Okay.
You can also track your progress in a workout journal.
Ah, like Nerd Fitness recommends.
Yeah, to see if you're consistently lifting heavier weights
Right.
or doing more reps.
So pay attention to your body and those little cues
Yes,
that tell you it's time for a new challenge.
exactly. And don't be afraid to experiment.
Okay.
You might find that you plateau with certain exercises faster than others,
Right.
and that's perfectly normal.
Okay.
The key is to keep challenging yourself
Mm-hmm.
and find what works best for you.
So what are some ways to increase the challenge besides just adding more weight?
Oh, there's a bunch of ways.
Okay.
You could try increasing the number of reps
Right?
or sets, decreasing your rest periods
Okay.
between sets, or even changing the tempo of your exercises.
Oh, changing the tempo. How does that work?
So, for example, instead of doing a squat quickly,
Mm.
you could slow down the lowering phase
Okay.
and hold at the bottom for a few seconds before pushing back up.
Oh, okay.
This increases the time under tension
Oh, okay.
and makes the exercise more challenging.
Wow, I'm learning so much.
Uh,
This is already way more in-depth than I expected.
Well, that's what a deep dive is all about.
Yeah.
There's so much more to explore.
I can't wait.
So before we move on to part 2,
Okay.
what's one thing that really stands out to you so far from all this information?
I'm really struck by the emphasis on individualization.
Yeah.
Both the Mayo Clinic and Nerd Fitness highlight that there's no one-size-fits-all approach to fitness. It's all about understanding your unique needs and goals
Yeah.
and creating a plan that works for you.
Right.
I think that's incredibly empowering.
It is.
It takes the pressure off of trying to fit into some predetermined mold
Yeah.
and allows you to, embrace your own fitness journey.
I love that.
Speaking of journeys, let's talk about staying motivated.
Okay.
I know that's something I personally struggle with.
Yeah.
Do any of our sources offer advice on that front?
They do.
Okay.
Both Healthline and Nerd Fitness
Mm-hmm.
stress the importance of finding activities you actually enjoy.
Okay.
If you dread your workouts,
Yeah,
you're far less likely to stick with them long term.
that makes total sense.
It's true.
It shouldn't feel like a chore
No,
or a punishment. It should be something you look forward to,
Right.
even if it's challenging.
absolutely.
So what are some ways to find activities you truly enjoy?
Well, they suggest experimenting,
Yep.
Try different types of exercise,
Oh, fun.
from dancing to swimming to rock climbing.
I liked.
See what gets you excited and makes you feel good.
So it's like dating. You've got to try out different options before you find the one that clicks.
Exactly.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
What other tips do our sources offer for staying on track?
Well, Healthline talks about the benefits of group fitness classes,
Okay.
personal trainers, or even team sports.
Right.
Having a support system and a sense of community can make a huge difference.
Oh, for sure. Having those workout buddies
Yeah.
to hold you accountable and
Yeah.
cheer you on
Yeah,
can make all the difference.
it's true.
And I've heard that personal trainers can be great
Yeah.
for those who need more structured guidance and support.
They can also help you create a personalized workout plan
Mm-hmm.
and ensure you're using proper form to avoid injuries.
That's a good point.
And Nerd Fitness adds that tracking your progress can be incredibly motivating.
Like a visual reminder of how far you've come
Right.
and all the hard work you've put in.
Yeah, exactly. If it can help you stay focused on your goals and celebrate those wins along the way.
Yeah, I love that. I love celebrating wins.
Me too.
All right, so we've covered a lot of ground here.
Yeah.
From getting that initial checkup to finding activities you love to tracking your progress.
Yeah.
What's next on our fitness journey?
Well, in part 2, we'll dive deeper into the nuts and bolts of creating a workout routine.
Ooh, exciting.
We'll break down those compound exercises, explore different variations,
Okay,
and talk about how to make your workouts both effective and enjoyable.
sounds good to me. I'm ready to get sweaty.
Me too. Let's do this.
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So let's get into the actual exercise.
Okay, yeah, let's build a workout routine.
Yeah. You remember that 4-part formula from Nerd Fitness?
Mm,
Quads, butt, and hamstrings.
Right.
Push and pull.
okay,
We're going to use that as our framework.
I'm ready to build some muscle.
Let's do it. So starting with those quads,
Okay.
what are some good exercises for building powerful legs?
Well, I mean, I know squats are a classic for a reason, right?
They are.
I mean, they work your quads, hamstrings, and glutes all at once.
Yeah. And Nerd Fitness recommends starting with barbell squats.
Okay.
But if you're new to this,
Mm-hmm.
bodyweight squats or goblet squats are a great place to begin.
Okay, I've heard so much about squats, but to be honest, I'm a little intimidated by them.
Really?
Are they really that important?
They're a powerhouse exercise.
Okay.
They help build strength, power, and stability.
Wow.
And they can even improve your mobility.
Okay.
Plus, they mimic everyday movements,
Right.
like sitting down and standing up.
That's true. That's true.
So they have real-world functionality.
Okay, you've convinced me.
Good.
Squats are officially on the list.
All right, so next.
What about exercises for the butt and hamstrings? Asking for a friend.
Uh-huh. Well, your friend is in luck.
Okay, good.
Nerd Fitness suggests deadlifts,
Okay.
hip raises, and good mornings for targeting those muscles.
Deadlifts sound intense.
They can be.
What makes them so special?
Deadlifts are amazing for building overall strength
Okay.
and working those posterior chain muscles,
Posterior chain muscles. Okay.
which basically run along the entire back of your body,
Oh, wow.
from your head to your heels.
That's a lot of muscles.
It is a lot.
No wonder they're considered such a challenging exercise.
Yeah, they can be, but they're worth it.
Okay.
And don't underestimate hip raises either.
Right.
They're a fantastic way to isolate and strengthen your glutes.
Got it. Okay.
So we've got squats for quads,
Mhm.
deadlifts, and hip raises for butt and hamstrings.
Right. So what about the push category?
Push.
Chest, shoulders, and triceps.
So for that,
Mm-hmm.
Nerd Fitness recommends overhead presses for shoulder strength and stability,
Okay.
bench presses for targeting your chest,
Classic.
and of course, good old-fashioned push-ups.
Push-ups are great because you can do them anywhere.
Yeah, no equipment needed.
Right, but I feel like I've plateaued with them.
You know, there are ways to make them more challenging.
Oh, okay.
Nerd Fitness has a whole treasure trove of push-up variation.
Okay.
You could try incline push-ups,
Th-
decline push-ups,
Mm-hmm.
diamond push-ups, even Spider-Man push-ups.
Spider-Man push-ups. Those sound intense.
They are.
I might have to Google those later.
Yeah, look those up.
Okay. What about for the pull exercises?
Pull
Bucks, biceps, and grip.
So for that, we have chin-ups,
Okay.
pull-ups, and rows.
Chin-ups are like a true test of upper body strength.
They are.
I've always wanted to be able to do a chin-up.
You know, if you can't quite do a full chin-up yet,
Uh-huh.
inverted rows are a great stepping stone.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah, and they're a little easier on your joints, too.
Oh, that's good.
So that's something to consider.
Yeah, I've always wanted to be able to do a chin-up.
Yeah.
It's definitely a fitness goal of mine.
It's a great goal, and, you know, Nerd Fitness suggests using a resistance band
Okay.
to assist you until you build enough strength
Gotcha.
to do them unassisted.
So you can kind of ease your way into it.
Right. Exactly. And once you've mastered those,
Mm-hmm.
you can try weighted chin-ups for an even bigger challenge.
Okay, challenge accepted.
All right.
So we've got a solid list of exercises now.
Yeah, we do.
I know we talked about incorporating supersets and circuits too.
Yes.
Can you remind me what those are all about?
Of course. Supersets involve doing 2 exercises back to back
Yeah.
with minimal rest in between.
Okay.
It's a great way to increase intensity
Mm-hmm.
and efficiency.
Okay.
For example, you could do a set of squats
Great.
followed immediately by a set of push-ups.
So you're working different muscle groups while one set rests.
Exactly. You got it.
Clever. What about circuits?
Circuits take it up a notch
Okay.
by stringing together multiple exercises
Mm-hmm.
with little to no rest in between.
Oh, wow.
You might do squats, push-ups, rows, and lunges all in quick succession.
Oh.
It's a fantastic way to get your heart rate up
Yeah.
and challenge your entire body.
I can feel the burn already.
It's a good burn.
It sounds like a great way to mix things up
Yeah, definitely.
and keep your workouts from getting stale.
For sure.
But with all this intensity, rest and recovery must be super important.
It is. They emphasize that rest days are just as important as workout days.
Okay.
Nerd Fitness actually recommends 2 to 3 full body workouts per week,
Okay.
allowing for plenty of recovery time.
I think a lot of people, myself included, fall into the trap of thinking more is always better when it comes to exercise.
Yeah.
But I'm starting to realize that giving your body adequate time to rest
Right.
is crucial for making progress and preventing injuries.
Absolutely. It's during those rest periods that your muscles actually repair and rebuild themselves,
Mm.
getting stronger in the process.
So it's not just about pushing yourself to the limit every day. It's about
And-
finding that balance between exertion and recovery.
Exactly.
Okay, so what if you're feeling antsy on your rest days?
Yeah.
What should you do?
Nerd Fitness recommends what they call active recovery.
Active recovery.
Have you heard of that?
I haven't. What is that?
Basically, it's engaging in low-intensity activities
Okay.
that promote blood flow
Mm-hmm.
and help your muscles recover
Okay.
without putting too much stress on them.
Okay.
Things like walking, gentle stretching, or swimming are great options.
So it's more about moving your body in a gentle way
Right.
rather than just like vegging out on the couch all day.
Exactly.
Yeah, makes sense. So before we wrap up this part,
Right?
I have to ask about motivation. I know we talked about finding activities you enjoy, but do you have any other tips for staying motivated?
Yeah, motivation can be tricky,
Yeah, for sure.
but there are definitely strategies you can use to stay on track.
Okay.
One thing that Healthline suggests
Mm-hmm.
is setting realistic goals. If you set the bar too high,
Yeah,
you're more likely to get discouraged.
that's so true. I'm definitely guilty of that.
I think we all are.
Yeah.
It's all about finding that sweet spot where you're challenging yourself,
Mm-hmm.
but also setting yourself up for success.
Right.
And don't underestimate the power of celebrating those small wins along the way.
Oh, I like that. Little celebrations.
Yeah.
Every step forward, no matter how small,
Exactly.
worth celebrating.
It can help keep you motivated to keep going.
Yeah, I'm feeling inspired already. This is all such great advice.
Good.
What else can we look forward to in part 3 of our fitness deep dive? All right, so in part 2, we talked about those core compound exercises like
Right.
squats, deadlifts, push-ups, chin-ups.
Yeah, the big ones.
I'm ready to, I want to level up.
Okay. Yeah.
What are some variations we can explore
Yeah.
to keep things interesting and challenge our muscles in new ways?
One of the things I love about compound exercises is that they're so versatile.
Okay.
So take squats, for example.
Okay.
We
yeah.
talked about barbell squats.
Right.
But there are so many other variations to try.
Okay.
Front squats,
Oh, yeah.
where you hold the weight in front of your body.
I've seen those at the gym, yeah.
Those are great for emphasizing your quads even more.
They look pretty intense.
They are. They definitely require more core strength and stability.
Okay.
And then you've got Bulgarian split squats,
Bulgarian split squats.
which are fantastic for working out balance and single leg strength.
Those are the ones where you elevate your back foot on a bench.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah, I've tried those a few times. They
That's
always
right.
make my legs burn.
Yeah, they're definitely a challenge.
Yeah.
And then for a real test of single leg strength, you could even try pistol squats.
Pistol squats. Have you ever seen those?
I've seen them in videos. Yeah, they're very impressive.
Yeah, it's where you squat down on one leg while extending the other leg out in front of you.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Yeah, I might have to work my way up to those.
Yeah, take your time.
What about variations for push-ups?
Okay. Yeah?
We know they're a great body weight exercise,
Uh-huh.
but how can we make them more challenging?
Well, Nerd Fitness has, like, a whole arsenal of push-up variations. Okay.
Incline push-ups, where you place your hands on an elevated surface.
Right.
That's a good starting point
Yeah.
if you're still building strength.
Okay.
On the other hand, you've got climb push-ups,
Okay.
where your feet are elevated.
Mm-hmm.
That really targets your upper chest and shoulders.
So it's all about adjusting your body position to shift the emphasis on different muscle groups.
Exactly.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And then you've got diamond push-ups,
Diamond push-ups.
where you bring your hands close together to form a diamond shape with your index fingers and thumbs.
I've heard those are killer.
They are, yeah. Those
Yeah.
really zero in on your triceps.
Any other variations I should add to my list?
Well, for a real core challenge, you could try Spider-Man push-ups.
Spider-Man push-ups, those sound fun.
As you lower down, you bring one knee towards your elbow on the same side.
Oh, okay.
It's like doing a push-up while channeling your inner superhero.
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've covered squats and push-ups.
Uh-huh.
What about those pull exercises? Chin-ups, pull-ups, and rows.
Yes.
How can we level those up?
Well, if you're working towards your first chin-up, remember those resistance bands we talked about?
Right.
They can be a huge help
Okay.
in assisting you until you build the strength to do them unassisted.
That's a good reminder.
Yeah. It's nice to know there are tools to help you progress
Right.
without getting discouraged.
Absolutely, yeah. No one wants to get discouraged.
Yeah.
Okay, so once you've mastered those,
Yes.
you can add weight to your chin-ups for an even greater challenge.
Right. You can always make it harder.
I'm starting to realize that there's always room to grow and challenge yourself,
Yeah, there really is.
no matter what your fitness level is.
That's the beauty of it.
What about rows? Any variations for those?
Oh, tons.
Okay.
Bent over rows are a classic
Mm-hmm.
for building a strong back.
Right.
But you could also try inverted rows,
Okay.
dumbbell rows, or cable rows if you have access to a gym.
This is making me realize how much variety there is in the fitness world.
Yeah, it's not just about going through the same motions day after day.
Yeah.
You can constantly experiment
Yeah.
and find new ways to challenge your body.
That's one of the things I love about it.
Me too.
All right, speaking of challenging your body,
Yes.
let's circle back to progressive overload.
Okay.
We touched on this in part 2.
Yeah.
But I think it's worth digging a little deeper.
I agree. It's so key for making progress
Right.
and seeing those gains.
All right, so remind me again, what is it all about?
Okay, so it's all about consistently increasing the demand on your muscles over time.
Okay.
You can do this by adding more weight,
Right.
doing more reps,
Yeah.
decreasing your rest time,
Okay.
or even trying those more challenging exercise variations that we just talked about.
So it's not just about lifting heavier and heavier weights.
No, not necessarily.
Okay.
It's about finding what works best for you and your body.
Right.
It doesn't have to be a huge jump every time.
Oh, okay.
Even small increments of progress
Right.
add up over time.
That's encouraging.
Yeah.
I think I sometimes get caught up in the go big or go home mentality.
I think we all do sometimes.
But I'm realizing that consistency and gradual progress are key.
That's the key, consistency.
Okay, and progressive overload
Yes.
isn't just about getting stronger, is it?
No.
It applies to other aspects of fitness like cardio and flexibility.
Exactly.
So if I'm running, I could aim to increase my distance or speed gradually over time.
Yes, and for flexibility,
Mm-hmm.
you could work towards holding stretches for longer periods.
Okay.
We're trying more advanced stretches.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's all about pushing those boundaries in a safe and sustainable way,
Okay.
no matter what type of exercise you're doing.
This deep dive has been so eye-opening.
I'm glad.
I feel like I have a much better understanding of the fundamentals of fitness now.
Yeah.
But before we wrap things up,
Okay.
I want to touch on the mental aspect of fitness.
Yes, that's so important.
Yeah, it's something we mentioned earlier, but I think it's really important.
Absolutely. Fitness isn't just about physical strength.
Right.
It's also about mental toughness,
Okay.
resilience, discipline.
It's about pushing through those tough workouts.
Yes.
Staying committed to your goals even when you don't feel like it.
Right.
Believing in your ability to get stronger.
And recognizing those setbacks,
Mm-hmm.
they're a normal part of the journey.
Right.
It's how you respond to those challenges
Yeah.
that truly defines your success.
That's a good point. It's about having that inner strength to keep going.
Yeah.
Even when things get tough.
Exactly.
This has been such an incredible deep dive.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I feel like I'm, armed with all the knowledge I need to start my fitness journey
That's awesome.
with confidence.
I love that.
So to anyone listening who's ready to embark on their own fitness journey,
Yeah.
what's one piece of advice that you would offer?
You know, start small, be consistent, and celebrate every victory along the way.
I love it.
You are capable of achieving amazing things.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Well, thank you for having me. This has been fun.
Thanks for joining us on this incredible deep dive into the world of fitness.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure.
We'll see you next time
Sounds good.
for another adventure in knowledge.